Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Putty, and welcome to a new series of mine. I've been starting way too many series lately. I'm probably not going to be able to keep up with them all, but today we're starting a series on TEW. I see a lot of this on YouTube nowadays, and it's really fun for me to watch. And I play the game a lot, so I thought I'd give it a go. I'd jump in and I'd start with the series because there's a lot of people out there that do it, and I think also there's not a lot of people that there's a lot, like, the community's quite small, so you don't have a lot of people sharing their knowledge about the game. So I have a little bit, although I'm nowhere near what a lot of people are on the forums over there. But so it'd be cool. I thought it'd be cool to show off MAW, because if you're playing the game for the first ever time, MAW is one of the best promotions to start with. And as we progress through this series, it won't be long, I'm sure, before I decide to jump ship somewhere else. The only place I'm not going to go absolutely 100% in this series is the only place I refuse to go is USPW. 1 second, because I've been there. I'm on there in a personal save, and I've also been there far too many times that I'm just bored, and it's also not my kind of style. So there you go. So let's start with I'm gonna try and say as much about the game as I can through this. So let's start with what is MAW and what are you trying to do. So let's start off with the importance. I think this is the first thing you should look at, and popularity. So very, very small, kind of ROH without television coverage. They have one very specific region. We're not even regional yet, we're only small. So our first aim is obviously to get regional, which means we need to get to 29% importance here. So around 35, maybe a little higher popularity for that. So basically all we need to do is put on shows that have more than 20 popularity in the Mid-Atlantic region, which is extremely easy when you consider the roster we have. It's a pretty small roster, but not only are they good, but also they are going to get better. So this is the 2013 database, the very, very first database you get with TEW2013. We're starting in January 2013, and yeah. MAW, all they can do is they put on a show a month. That's it. A couple of hour and a half. There's 3 2-hour shows. The Sam Keith Classic is also a really important show for them, but we'll talk about that when we get there. This month's show is the Ripcord Invitational. It's a tournament. We are going to be running a 8-man tournament for that, but I think I'm going to bring in a couple of other people through loans to spice the tournament up a bit. If you look at our creative meaning, is probably a good place to start, actually. There we go. So our franchise players are Cameron Vasi, who is 25 years old. He is, he's the guy. I think he's pretty over. Yeah, he's more over than our company is, which is a good sign. And he's young. In the 2014 database, he's already gone to TCW, I want to say, or somewhere like that. He is going to get sniped. If we can control his growth, if we can slow him down a bit, then maybe, just maybe, we can prevent sniping. But which sniping is when a bigger company takes your people, which happens a lot. But as you can see, he's alright. There's better out there. We're going to be getting better coming in right now. We're going to go buy a bunch of people, some of which are better than him. But he is very good, and he's young. And he's got everything that is necessary to get over in this promotion. And I believe he's already our champion. Yeah, he's our world champion, our main champion. Findlay Faraday is he's also a heel. Findlay Faraday is a babyface, though. He's a good babyface. He's mainly, I think, menace is what gets him over here. He's also a very competent worker. Very competent. Where we are right now, I think he's probably able to call matches as well. It's like, there's a note that you can make when you're putting together a match called Call in the Ring, which just gives a flat bonus. If they are able to call it, then calling it will give it a bonus. Now, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 62 psychology in a 20 over promotion. I think Findlay can call a match. I can't remember. I know it's relative to how big your promotion is, but I think Findlay can call a match. He's also 27, so he's by no means old, by any means old. He's still got the chance to get better, and he's also more over than our promotion is, which is, again, a good shine. That's the only really overness value we need to pay attention to right now. Eventually this will matter, but he's only going to get over here, and this is all that's really going to matter. Also, overness isn't that important, but it's still important. in this company. We'll show you the product settings next. This is me. I'm this guy's in the game, so no matter who you are, you will get him in MAW. But I picked him as my character because I think he's not too overpowered, if you know what I mean. Like, if I picked Tommy Cornell, it would be too easy of a game. But he's an MAW, local. He is a guy. he is, their guy, and he is one of the franchise players. He's more over than the company is, and I think he's alright. I think his psychology is pretty good. Yeah, it's alright. It's pretty good. Consistency is what matters here for him. I think he's going to be probably a ring general. He's got everything that we need to keep him over. I think that psychology's alright. We're probably going to end up getting much better. And he's also 34, so I don't know how long he'll be in the main event for. But those are pretty good stats in technical wrestling that he could pass on to the younger people. Also, brawling isn't too bad. There's nothing special here, but he's certainly not bad. He's a heel as well, I would assume. He's a heel. Next big things are Robbie Wright and Miller Ford. I'm not sure about these two, I gotta be honest with you. But Robbie Wright is good. Robbie Wright's got great, entertainment skills. And aside from psychology, he's got workable in-ring skills. How old is he? He's 21, so he's got a lot of time to grow. Miller Ford is also pretty young, but he's not up. Overness does not matter for him. He's also got a lot of room to grow. I guess we should work on him, because this is usually like overness caps are pretty good. And, skill caps are pretty good on these guys. So usually it's pretty good to start pushing these guys. But I'm not too sure about these two in particular. Maybe Robbie. I probably will end up putting Robbie on color commentary. But we'll talk about that later. Same two people here, but also the Architect, Max Mayhem, and Sid Collier. None of these guys are really people that I'm that interested in. They'll be on the show. They might pick up some skills, and we'll check back with them in a couple of months to see if they're ready to start really pushing. I doubt it. They're not fantastic. Sam Keith, if we can use him in angles, is incredible. I don't know if we can. He's the owner of the company. He's a retired wrestler, one of the legends of the game. We might go into his story a little bit later, but basically, he was like, the technical wrestler legend. He was not the most over guy in the world, but he was a great wrestler, as you can see. And I probably end up using Sam as my road agent. Sometimes I use him as a color commentator as well. He's alright. It depends on who we can get. As you can see, he was just a great wrestler. He was the guy. He was the showstopper kind of guy. And then he retired. Did he do anything before MAW? No, he didn't. He retired from active competition, and then he took over ownership of MAW from Ripcord, who was another... It's kind of like Sam Keith was probably the next Ripcord. Here's Hollywood Bret Starr. Here's the problem with Hollywood Bret Starr. He is locker room cancer. He is ridiculously hard to work with. He's over though. He's ridiculously hard to work with. He's pretty good. Let's not dog him there. He's pretty good. He's a brawler. He's an okay wrestler with great entertainment stats at the age of, I think it's 22. He's currently our mid-card champion. He's over. He's good. He's got a lot of he's a lot better than his daddy. He's a lot better than Mickey Starr. Let's just say that. But he's a lot better than his daddy, but he's difficult to work with. So we might end up cutting him just because he's not worth the hassle, but we'll have to see. Citizen X is another one of those elder statesmen who's going to try and pass his skills on to the younger generation. The skills I'm talking about are maybe his technical skills and brawling. It depends on how bad the people we're working with are. Pretty good aerial ability. Probably end up working with, I would say, Casey Glenn, but he actually has better aerial than this guy already. So I'm not sure who he's going to end up working with, because luchadors tend to have really good stats here. You don't usually tend to find average stats here. You tend to find either really good or really bad. So this isn't really going to help too much. These are alright, but again, not fantastic. Probably end up using him to teach the younger guys how to talk. Those are pretty good stats for that. And aside from that, his reputation's really good. Yeah, he's probably just a solid rock. Isn't going to win a championship ever again, but he's there to take some falls. And yeah, he's over probably. Yeah, he's more over than the company. So yeah, he has a dislike of Cliff Anderson. I don't even know who that is. 1 second. Did it say Cliff Anderson? Yeah. Has he ever won the MAW championship? He has. He's won the American championship and the normal championship. But the last time he was mid-card champion was a year ago. And the last time he was the actual champion was 5 years ago. So, yeah, don't expect much from him. He is 423rd in the world, though. Which is more that can be said from some of our younger guys. Robbie Wright, we already talked about. Casey Valentine is very good. He is kind of like... I wouldn't say he's Cameron Vesi's protege, because as you can see, he's Ripcord's protege. But these two are pretty well connected. Cameron Vasi and Casey Valentine. Again... He is a lot better than his daddy. Peter Valentine is awful. But Cameron Vesi, by the way, is the son of the Vesi brothers, both of which are actually really good. But Cameron is good as well. We haven't checked the stats yet. As you can see, very workable stats, good consistency. That's only going to get better as he grows too. He's 24, if I read that right. Yep, 24. He's good stamina. His star quality's kind of low, unfortunately. But he can talk, so... He is probably a solid mid-carder for a big company like US Pro Wrestling or SWF or TCW. Those are the 3 big US companies. Probably could do some tours in Japan as well. But for us, he'd be a main eventer one day. One day. Was that Talk the Talk? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Showstoppers. These are the guys who aren't so consistent but can put on a good match when called to. I forgot to check his top bro. His top bro's alright, actually. With some work, he can be really good. Cameron Vesi, Citizen X, these are the guys that are going to put on great matches once in a while. And then these guys... Oh, it's the same list? Nope. Okay. These are the Showstoppers. They'll put on a good match every once in a while. And, yeah, it is the same list, actually, just swapped around. And these are the good guys who are going to put on a good match every single week. So these two... if you're on both lists, which everybody is, then you're in a really good spot. Yeah. These are the guys who are going to be on every single show. Who's hot right now? Nobody. Who's not right now? Most of our lower card. Yeah. Momentum's hard to keep going in a promotion like this. Don't worry about it too much. That's just momentum. Time decline? Nobody. Of course, we have a very young roster. Very young roster. Citizen X and me are the only people over 30, I think. Even Findlay, who I consider to be quite old, is only 27. So yeah. Also, Hidden Gems. This is a good place to check because most of these guys are gonna be pretty good. Now, Frosure and Mainstream Hernandez are later signings. One day we'll sign them, but for now I'm gonna leave them go. I don't think there's much point right now. They're good. They're really good, but I don't... maybe we should, but I only want to sign the absolute best of the best. So here's what I'm thinking. We're going to sign Frankie Perez. No, not Frankie D. Frankie Perez on a paper appearance deal. I got good negotiating stats, so let's see if we can get him down to 1,000. 1,160. You usually can't budge them off that. Let's try and get his downside down, though. But what if I give you 4 years? And what if we're going to usually use you exclusively in the ring? Would you then drop down to what that? You'll drop down a little bit. The reason why we're signing Frankie Perez, let me just make sure this is okay. Yeah, it is. We're signing Frankie Perez not as a singles wrestler, although he is a good one. We're also signing him along with his good friend Mikey James, who is currently the Coastal Zone World Champion. But that's fine. We're not poaching him or anything. We're just signing him as well. He'll work for both companies. And we're going to be signing Frankie Perez and Mikey James because they have a tag team known as the Cali Dragons, who are a tag team staple of the indies. They can very much work on the big stages. They're great. The Cali Dragons are fantastic, and they're going to be kind of the backbone of our tag team division. They'll be the baby faces, and our heels in the tag team division are going to be Dean Waldorf. There he is. Give you 4 years as well. Although you can cancel these contracts at any time for cheap, so it doesn't really matter. And as you can see, these guys are quite a bit cheaper than the Cali Dragons because, of course, They are not as good. They're not jobbers, but they're ring generals. That's their tag team name. They are the ring generals. The other guy in the tag team is Marv Stadler. They're fantastic workers who have great chemistry. They have 100% chemistry experience, 100% tag team experience, and they are going to work brilliantly. So these the Kali Dragons versus the Ring Generals is going to be our staple tag team match for the entirety of this save, at least until they get poached, which will probably be soon. We're also going to sign 4 other guys. These are just really good wrestlers. We might end up putting Matthew Keith in the tag division as well, but we'll see how that comes along. Obviously, Matthew Keith is the son of our owner, Sam Keith. Matthew Keith is a very good wrestler, extremely good, one of the best on the planet. He's also got a lot of room to grow as well. I think he's 21, does that say? 1 second. Just 23. But look at these stats too. They're very good. He's going to grow better as well. That top row is incredible. Yeah, we might have him work with Citizen X to see if we can get a really good all-rounder. He's a great heel. He's also a good babyface. And also Greg Gage. Greg Gage. The reason why he doesn't use the name Keith is because Keith is the kayfabe name, the fake wrestling name, whereas Gage is their real name, and he wanted to separate himself off from his father. He's working in Japan right now, but we're going to sign him over here as well. He should be able to work both companies, but sometimes you get a few date clashes. So yeah, we got Greg Gage and Matthew Keith, who we could put in a tag team, but not confirmed yet. And Casey Glenn. This is one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's 21, and those are fantastic stats. In my last 2 saves, have gotten him to all A's in these 5 stats, which are some of the most important. These are the 5 most important stats for putting on a good match. These are really important as well. But as you can see, he's pretty well rounded up here as well. He does have some weaknesses here, but I somehow managed to eliminate those weaknesses in a previous save. And in MAW, it doesn't matter. Those weaknesses do not matter. And the final guy we're going to sign in is El Mítico Jr. He's unemployed right now. Shit. Actually, we're going to bring in a couple other people as well. We're not going to do a women's division for our first show, but we will do one eventually. El Mítico Jr. He's also got good stats. That psychology is going to get better as well. And he's a good wrestler. Just believe. These are all guys that I've used before. These are good wrestlers. And that's the end of our signing spree. But I also want to bring in Nigel Svensson, because he's a good influence on the locker room. He's a positive influence on our locker room, and he's also a good worker. So yeah, that's why I'm bringing him in. He's not going to be magnificent. He's not going to be straight away up in developing like Casey Glenn is, but he's going to eventually be a decent worker, and he's also a good influence on the locker room. Mr. Lucha 3, possibly. I want to look at one. There's another girl that I'm forgetting. There's a girl who's a good influence on the locker room. I'm not going to find her just by looking through here, but let me look at the hidden gems. Roger Cage. I don't want a guy who's 30. Anybody else who's absolutely fundamentally some of the best people in the world right now. Aaron Andrews, if he was available, I would totally sign in a heartbeat. I don't think so. There's nobody magnificent you can sign, aside from the guys I have signed. Those tag teams are incredible. They're must signs. I could go for Greg Black, who's very good, and Stephen Parker, I think it is. Stephen Parker, who's really good. No, it's not Stephen Parker I'm thinking of, though. It's a different guy. I think he works for Pittsburgh. 1 second, let me find him. Is it Pittsburgh? Yeah, Pittsburgh Steel. Is it Stephen? It's not Stephen Parker I'm thinking of. It's someone else. I'm forgetting his name. Matthew Keith actually works in Pittsburgh as well. I'm sure it's not Stephen Parker. That picture looks a bit off to me. It's something Ace or... I'll come back to it, I'm sure. But yeah, let's take a look at our let's look at our product settings before we end this little intro video off. So, basically we need to bring these down. Ignore TV, we're not doing TV. So, main event matches are matches with a main eventer and a upper mid-carder in. Media matches are matches that have a mid-carder that include only mid-carders or higher. A minor match is any other match. So if you've got a mid-carder versus an upper mid-carder, that's a media match. If you've got a main eventer versus an upper mid-carder, that's a main match. If you've got a main eventer versus a main eventer, that's a main match. If you've got a mid-carder versus a lower mid-carder, that's a minor match. Things like that. Now, our minor matches, I want the ability... You can go higher than this, you just can't go lower than this, so set this lower, I would. Yeah, this looks about right. 16 for the main matches. Because 16 is the max, the minimum. Actually, let's put it at 10, so that we can do some 10-minute matches with the tag teams. But 16 is what you want to slow build, so I'm pretty happy with putting all our main event matches at 16 minutes. Intensity and danger is fine, right? 1 second. Yep, that's fine. Danger can stay quite low. We're old school. We have a face-heel divide, we have no women's wrestling. Okay, I'll leave that like that for now. We will eventually have some. Traditional is a key feature, mainstream is low, realism is heavy, hardcore is very low, pure is low, and the rest are none. So it means that wrestlers are rated more on performance than popularity. This means their good wrestlers will be rated better than really popular wrestlers. So keep that in mind. We could get that to much more if we turned the Puro up. There you go. But I don't think we can, because we end up losing some sponsorship, I think. But I'll leave it at low for now. More is fine. We want to have some over wrestlers, obviously. They don't care about characters or gimmicks. They won't be keen on gimmicks, but we still need to have some gimmicks, right? The fans do not like highly risky gimmicks. The fans will not get subtle gimmicks, so we want low risk, low subtlety gimmicks. Solid matches, clean finishes, really important to remember that. Highly risky angles, ignore them. Yeah, just do not do risky angles here. Is favourable towards getting sponsorship, and more will not be rocked by industry changes. So basically, we're going to put on a match-heavy show with clean storytelling, basically. With a few angles in there as well, because we have a couple of guys that can do some angles. But not much, actually. Not much. If we have a look at our product again, 80% angles, 80% matches, 20% angles. That means we can, on an hour long, every hour, we can put on 12 minutes of angles. Which isn't bad, because most of my angles tend to be 6 minutes, because that's where you start to get skill improvements. So that means on our 2-hour shows, we can put on around 4 angles, which isn't too bad at all. At all. It can warm the crowd up, it can improve some people's skills, it can get people over. It's not too bad. It's a little low. It means you're only really going to be able to get over, like, Findlay or Faraday on Menace, and then maybe Robbie on Entertainment. Aside from that, we're not really going to be doing too many angles. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Also, this percentage, we'll look at teams in a second. This percentage, it also tells you how much of the show's grade comes from matches and angles. So, for example, if you have, I don't know, let's say you had 2 angles and 2 matches on every show. If your 2 matches were great, your 2 matches would count for 80% of the show's grade, overall grade, and the 2 angles would only count for 20% of the overall show's grade. If you were at, I don't know, 10% matches, it would be the same thing. The matches would count for 10%, the angles would count for 80%, for 90%. That's what makes shows like USPW pretty easy to run, because you can run awesome angles and dreadful matches and get good grades because the angles are more important. With this show, the actual matches are more important. But that, again, won't matter too much until we get a little further on, because right now, there's no way we're not putting on a show that's better than 20. No way. So, we don't have anything to worry about. No stables. Our announcers right now, we only have Marvin, who's good, but we probably want to put a wrestler on commentary with him. Probably Robbie, because Robbie can get a popularity boost from being on commentary. So we'll put these 2 on commentary together. Anything else we need to cover in this intro video? Oh, of course. Very important to note that we are in an alliance. the Confederation of the Territories. So these are all indie companies. Basically, we can't run a show in any of these regions, New York, or the tri-state area, the coastal zone, which I think is the southeast or the southwest, Canada, or somewhere in Mexico. And we can also loan these guys workers through talent trades. See? So we can loan, for example, from Ole El Critico. Or, yeah. There's a couple of people in Ole, original Lucha Libre is Eternal. There's a couple of guys we can lend there that would actually be pretty good. Let's have a look here. Looking for excellent in-ring workers. Nobody. Okay, good. It's hard to find excellent in-ring workers. So El Critico actually would be a good lend. So we'll consider who we want to take from there off-screen. I think there's some... Like, we could just go out and sign these people on paper appearance deals, or we could get them for only a limited amount of time. Which, if you're looking for, like, people who are terrible in the locker room, that's probably a good idea. Is there anybody here that I need to point out as a really good worker? Not really. Not really. Let's have a look at New York. There's a couple, I think, Black Hat Bailey is a good worker, but he is old. Really old. I think the ring generals are here. Yeah, there's Dean. Where's Marv? There's Marv. Larry Vasi is here. I'm assuming he's working as a road agent. Steve Flash. We want to sign him. Because he is a hell of a worker who is probably on the decline. We're actually going to loan him. Steve Flash for one appearance. He's probably on the decline. Because he's really freaking old. But those stats are good enough that you want him around, transferring them to other workers. Because if somebody with really good stats works with someone with really bad stats, then they will improve the other workers' stats. They don't want Hollywood Brett Starr. Why would you not? He's perfect. He gets along with everybody, man. What about Findlay? They don't think Findlay is strong enough, really. What about Cameron Vasi? Really? Alright, I'll lend you all of KV2 then. How about that? There you go, you like that. Probably best to loan him for a couple of appearances. Oh, no, doesn't matter. Usually that number goes down. Alright, one appearance is fine. Basically that means Cameron Vasi and Casey Valentine will go and do one appearance in New York as well. That's good, because it means they could grow in skills. So it's always good to do something like that. Alright, I think that's basically all I need to talk about for this particular video. In the next episode, we're actually going to do the Ripcord Invitational, which is a tournament. And we'll have all of our newly signed workers that I showed you in this episode by then. Where should we assign Steve Flash? Main eventer, of course. Of course. Yeah. That's about that, really. In the next episode, we'll actually book the show. We can talk about that. Who's going to win the Ripcord Invitational? Probably Casey Valentine. We're going to have it so that the winner of the Ripcord Invitational fights the champion at the next event. Okay, well, if you guys enjoyed this new series, feel free to give it a like. Check out the playlist if I've got it up already. If you're new here, click the subscribe button. Yeah, that's about that. Thank you for watching, and I will speak to you guys next time.